I love college football, but unfortunately, I don't get to watch as much of it as I would like during the season. Saturdays are pretty much my only day off, and I try to use Saturdays to spend quality time with my puppets. That's why I enjoy watching the Monday Night Football game this week, right? It was like a college game. The Steelers used a college-style offense with some wildcat in there, a lot of horizontal runs and routes, a ton of motion. And they ran that offense against a team that I'm pretty sure was Rutgers. Might have been UConn. Either way, the breakout star of the game, Steelers running back / quarterback / tight end / wide receiver / Cordell Stewart, Jaylen Samuels. On Monday night, Jaylen Samuels became the first player since 2016 to have 2 or more pass completions, rushes, and receptions in the same game. Oh, by the way, he put up 19.5 fantasy points in the process. But Samuels' usage didn't cut into James Conner's production. Season highs in touches and fantasy points for Conner as well. Both players saw 18 touches and had 8 receptions, a dead even split in workload. Conner and Samuels essentially hacked the PPR scoring system with those little pass plays, those little shovels that count as a pass and a reception. As long as the Steelers use this offense, and I would think given the conservative nature of Mason Rudolph's play so far, they're going to use it for a while, Samuels is a legit flex play, and he's a must-have handcuff to James Conner. Now, the only Steelers who's going to take a hit in this offense, Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju now down to wide receiver 39 for the season. Honestly, he's a low-end wide receiver too until the Steelers let Mason Rudolph open it up. For now, I'm just holding on to Juju and hoping for better days because I don't think you're going to be able to get much in return for a trade with him, right? So Jaylen Samuels is at the top of my Heisman Trophy watch list after Monday night, but he's actually my number 2 running back waiver wire ad. The honor of number 1 goes to Ronald Jones. In Week 4, Rojo set a season high in snap rate, and he took a season best 63% of the Buccaneers' carries. And on the season, this guy is averaging 4.7 yards per carry, which is more than 1 full yard better than Peyton Barber, and actually ranks right next to guys like Marlon Mack and Alvin Kamara. Jones is trending towards becoming the clear number 1 running back in a good offense. He's the top waiver wire ad at running back for me going into Week 5. After Jones and Samuels, Darrell Williams has a ton of upside in that Kansas City offense as long as Damian Williams is hurt. Nyheim Hines had 6 catches last week and could see even more work with Marlon Mack banged up, and the Colts likely having to throw more to keep up with the Chiefs on Sunday. And finally, Ito Smith, who scored last week and has as many red zone carries this season as Devontae Freeman. Finally, I just want to mention Jordan Howard, right? He's available in over 40% of ESPN leagues, not enough to be eligible for this list, but if he is available in yours, he should be one of the top picks this week at running back. Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger all remain injured. Meanwhile, Tom Brady, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, despite some huge games, believe it or not, after 4 weeks of the season, all of them outside the top 12 in terms of quarterback scoring for the year.
And superstar quarterback Matthew Stafford, QB7 on the season, is on a bye this week.
Yeah, you're right, Daniel. I mean, you're sort of right. But the point is this. You very well could need a quarterback this week, and my waiver wire list in Week 5 starts with Jameis Winston. Over the last 2 weeks, Winston has been the second best quarterback in fantasy, putting up at least 25 fantasy points in both games. Over that time frame, he actually leads the NFL with 7 touchdown passes. And this week, he gets the Saints, who have allowed the second most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks this year. After Winston, give me some, Daniel, you're supposed to be gone by now. I mean, you did your little Stafford line. Like, what's the...
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see where you rank Case Keenum, Colt McCoy, and Dwayne Haskins, Matthew.
Yeah, great. So after Jameis Winston, my next quarterback waiver wire ad is Jacoby Brissett. At least 16 fantasy points and multiple touchdowns in every start this season. Very solid floor. And this week he also has a high ceiling against the Chiefs defense that has given up an average of 19.7 fantasy points to quarterbacks so far this year. After Brissett, Daniel, is Jimmy Garoppolo off the bye and with 2 weeks to prepare for a banged-up Browns defense. He's already given up 8 touchdown passes this year. Andy Dalton, I know, I get it, he's Andy Dalton, but the Bengals get the Cardinals this week, who so far have given up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. I think the Red Rifle could be useful in Week 5. And finally, Gardner Minshew, looking more and more like the real deal. Believe it or not, he actually already has more fantasy points on the year than Aaron Rodgers.
I Wow, so no Redskins, even your top 5 quarterbacks on the waiver wire, Matthew. What's it like to not have a star quarterback like the Detroit Lions, huh?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, but how bad?
Oh, almost as bad as this.
What's this?
How long are we doing this? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. Remember to download the free ESPN Fantasy app. And for streaming sports and premium content like the Fantasy Show, be sure to subscribe to ESPN Plus.